watch. Wake up. You got fire to watch.
This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me? Over.
Pacho, this is Con Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. Say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah!
Get some. Hurrah! What's going on, everybody? Baby Friday is upon us. Friday night's Eve. Weekend's almost here, but goddamn, it's almost the weekend. Hey, we got an amazing show today. We got a buddy of mine for many years, representing an organization that I've been lucky to be a part of a couple of years ago, and that does a lot of great things for our community. But before we get started, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. Hey, this show is brought to you by Primerica. Let me ask you something. Do you have something to protect your family in the event that something tragic happens? So, and what am I talking about? Well, a good solid policy is there to help your family in the event of there's a loss, and it prevents that your family, goes through any suffering and hardships post something happened to that individual, that policy owner. That is the whole purpose of having a life policy, is basically income and asset protection. Hopefully, it'll pay off the house. Maybe put your kids through college and provide some type of income, monthly income for your family as they get over the loss of that individual. So if you don't have one, and if you have some other type of different product other than term, please give the folks at Primerica a call. It's all right there in the show description. Make sure you just follow the link. Should ask for a consult. At the end of the day, no pressure, no commitment, no bullshit. It's just somebody giving you some amazing information, so that way you can make a better educated decision. Okay. And this show is also brought to you by the VA, because we're now sponsored by them. So here's an awesome message by Mike Richmond.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Do you want easy access to VA Online, as well as other government websites? Then login.gov is the way to go. Login.gov is a U.S. government service that provides seamless access to government websites. By creating a login.gov account, you can use the same email and password to sign into va.gov, My Healthy Vet, VA DoD e-benefits, and the VA Health and Benefits mobile app, among other VA services. Login.gov also allows you to securely sign in to USA Jobs and TSA PreCheck, and to apply for SBA small business loans and disaster assistance. One login, many resources. To create a login.gov account, simply go to va.gov and click sign in.
Hey, one thing that I do want to point out, and it was mentioned on the PSA, on the VA's PSA last week's show, is that, hey, there's a lot of scams going on out there about organizations, or these military-friendly organizations or service providers, or military-owned service providers to help you get your claims and benefits. The bottom line is, through the va.gov website, you can find an approved VSO. These are individuals and organizations that are approved by the VA to help you as a service member, whether it's claims and benefits, or you need a lawyer, whatever the case may be. Go through there, because at the end of the day, you should not be paying nobody to help you get your claims and benefits. There are free services out there, so please don't do it. Because if you do, I mean, you're just asking for trouble, and you're going to get scammed. The VA has been doing a huge push, sending out marketing and information, preventing from other fellow service members getting scammed by some of these dumbasses. So don't fall prey to them. Okay. Hey, this show is also brought to you by the Great American Constitution. As you know, this show supports freedom of speech, right to bear arms, among the other freedoms that the American Constitution brings to you. Those of you who are naturalized American citizens like myself, but those of you who are born here, that is your God-given birthright as an American. So, hey, if you support the American Constitution and you like what you hear right now and today, like, subscribe, and follow. Make sure that you let everybody know about this amazing show. And if not, perhaps check out something from SitchRadio.com, which, by the way, shout out to them. Make sure if you're interested in becoming a podcaster yourself, give Brian Colburn a quick shout out and a call, and they'll get you all snapped in and ready. So, hey, that's it with all the pleasantries. Hey, let me tell you about this individual, Tom Kircher. Not only is he a fellow Marine, he and I rode motorcycles together for an amazing organization, the Brotherhood of Marine Corps Riders. Every year, they do an amazing thing for the Semper Fi Fund, along and other charities throughout Southern California and throughout the U.S. So, with that being said, let's bring Tom Kircher to the show. Yut!
All right.
All right, get some. What's going on, Mr. Kircher? How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing amazing, man. Hey, I see that you're wearing your rider's vest, representing the organization. So let's just go ahead and dive in. But actually, no, before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you serve? When two jarheads meet each other, like, oh, I was with this unit, blah blah. So just tell us a little bit about your Marine Corps career and such, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I'm originally from Swanville, Minnesota. I graduated in 1988, and I lived on the farm, and that was too much like work, so I joined the Marine Corps. And from there, after I went to my MOS school, where I became a nuclear, biological, and chemical defense specialist, I volunteered to go to Okinawa, Japan, because it sounded exciting. Certainly hadn't been there from the farm before, but that's exactly where I went. Stayed there for a couple of years. I was with the 3rd Mardiv Platoon for a little bit, and I went to 4th Battalion, 12th Marines while I was there, artillery. Then I got orders to Yuma, Arizona at the Marine Aircraft Group 13 there, spent 4 years there. I missed Okinawa so much, the Marine Corps decided to send me back in 1995. By that time, I picked up sergeant and did my 1 year there, and then came to Camp Pendleton. And I went to First Service Support Group at the time.
First FSSG!
That's right. And then got lucky enough to get selected to be in the Warrant Officer Program in 1998. And then, so I went off and did the schoolings I needed to do for that, came right back to Camp Pendleton, and I went to another artillery battalion, 2nd Battalion, 11th Marines.
Right.
Spent a year there. Then I went over to an infantry battalion, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines. And while I was there, my 4-year time that I was there, I went on the 11th MU and the 15th MU. And while we were BLT 2-1 with the 15th MU, that was 2003, we invaded Iraq, along with a lot of other fine folks, and came back and got promoted to Chief Warrant Officer 3, bumped up to the regimental level, went back to Fallujah in 2004, and those were some crazy times, very kinetic environment. And then, let's see, I came back, got promoted again, so I had to change units, but I stayed on Camp Pendleton, and then I went over back to the FSSG as the NBC officer there. Had a platoon of Marines, and then we did 2 deployments back to Iraq at Camp Taqadum in 2006 and 2008, and then came back, and it was time to go. So I retired in March of 2009.
Oh wow, that's. Let me ask you something. And before we dive into all the other things that we're going to talk about, but how was it? Here you are. These are things, because me too. You can theorize, and in schools when I was enlisted, and even in going through warrant officer school and motor T school, motor transport officer school, you theorize all these things that you read about combat warfare, blah blah. How was it for you here as nuclear, biological, chemical warfare? person all these things, and then being in Iraq, finding yourself implementing and doing all the shit that you went to school for, and mob levels and all that crazy stuff. How was that, bro?
Well, when anytime you're going to invade a country that you believe has an offensive chemical weapons capability, that's when they were looking to myself and my Marines that were with me to get us through all that stuff. And thankfully that never materialized. But when, I'll be honest, while that was exciting and challenging, 2004 in Fallujah, with Regimental Combat Team 1, I had an additional duty that I was tasked with, and that was being a senior watch officer, and that was nothing short of crazy. So,
I bet.
But yeah, those two events, it wasn't so bad. We went back in 06 and 08. Things have kind of calmed down quite a bit, but definitely 2004, talking to General Mattis on the radio at times.
Mad Dog Mattis
was just a little stressful, but it was very kinetic times. And while I was a pogue, if you will, person other than a grunt, we all had our duties, and thankfully I'm sitting here with you today.
No, and thank God for that. So how did you get involved? Because I had joined the Brotherhood. Moving time forward, I had joined the Brotherhood of Marine Corps Riders. I was brought in through Dan Stevenson, aka Hogger, who has been on the show. We call him Uncle Dan on the show multiple times. Talking about just different random shit, all good stuff. Nonetheless, so how did you get involved with the organization? Who brought you in, and obviously everybody has a road name, so we'll talk about your road name and such. But how did you get involved with the Brotherhood, with the BMCR?
Well, to be honest, I got myself involved. I'd seen, to this day, I don't know who it was. It was about 15 years ago, but I saw the patch, put the internet to work, reached out, and it was at the time it was Doppler who received my request, or my
your transmission.
Email. That's right. And anyway, if you recall, every Thursday night, we usually, like tonight, we usually get together and have a little bit of a brotherhood and socialize and a drink or two. And I linked up, I was told where the club usually went. And at that time, we were actually meeting at a place, it's called Sidelines in Marietta.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, I showed up, and, well, they made the mistake of letting me in. So,
yeah. So, and that obviously everybody has a road name. Mine used to be Crotch because I used to ride a Buell, which is an American sports bike. How did your name come about? Which I pretty much already know the answer, but just go ahead and tell the audience how'd you get? Because everybody gets some type of road name.
Yeah. So when I joined the club, I was actually when I first saw that patch, I was on the way to work on Camp Pendleton. And what I do, it's essentially the same types of things that I had done for the infantry battalion. It used to be called MBC. They then changed the name to CBRNE, which is chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosives. It's a mouthful. But anyway, each installation has a GS employee that manages that capability, the emergency response capability at the primarily at the fire departments and the PMOs, the law enforcement folks. So again, the government made the mistake of hiring me 15 years ago, and I jokingly say it, but it's absolutely true. I'm still counting gas masks since I graduated high school. So.
That's awesome.
But anyway, all that said, hazmat in particular, hazardous materials, emergency response is what the fire department does. And thankfully, I didn't get
Crotch.
Yeah, there's plenty of other names that I won't go into, but that I could have got, but thankfully I got this one. So
That's awesome. So for the last, many years, I remember we had the first poker run. Man, I got involved with the club back in 2010. As a matter of fact, I got pledged in, I guess you could say, right before I went to my 1 year stint in Fuji. But so you got because are you still there? Are you still do the secretary duties for the club still? Yeah, you're pretty much locked in for that.
treasurer, yeah,
The treasurer. There you go.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how the one thing that that we're mainly known for now, because we've grown this. It used to be a baby, but I mean this has grown over the years to something amazing. So tell us a little bit about the annual event that you guys host and participate on.
Well, we are. As you mentioned, we put on a poker run every year, and now it's kind of transitioned a little bit to a different name, a ride and rally, they call it now. Same thing, but we've progressed to where we have an actual motorcycle that has, in the last few years, we've been able to get it custom painted, and we sell raffle tickets for $10 a piece for that, and then we do that for months in advance. We're doing it now. And for the day of the event, which this year is June 8th, here in Marietta / Temecula, California, we have riders come, they participate in the poker run, and at the end we have a rally. We have representatives from the Semper Fi Fund. We have been partnered with them for 20 years, literally from their inception. I actually, was it last week? Yeah, last week went to their celebration of their 20th anniversary on Camp Pendleton at the ranch house. And they've come a long way. But we have strictly been partnered with them. We've done some other fundraisers along the way for outside of our poker run, but primarily they take care of wounded vets and their families, and they've got such a low overhead, and they're highly rated by, I think it's called Charity Navigator, but they've got the highest rating and have for the last 13, 14 years. So,
and as a matter of fact, their 2% of every dollar is what they retain to basically do whatever it is that they do, but 98% of every dollar goes back to the folks and the service members that they help and support. And I think that's freaking amazing, Yeah.
Well, and I read something this morning about that organization a little bit. I mean, it started with 4 ladies in 2000. They kind of started thinking about it and doing stuff when folks were coming back from what we talked about, invading Iraq in 2003. They saw the issues and the problems, that are, because it's not just a service member, it's the family. There's extreme impacts there, especially if you're severely wounded. And that's where they step in, and they do amazing things, and they've come such a long way.
Yeah. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and pop in some of the photos and things that you provide, some of the slides for the show. So this is this the bike that's being raffled?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
And what's the model on it?
As soon as I saw that, I knew you were going to ask me. It's a Harley Davidson Street Glide. There's a sign here that's got all the details on it, but bottom line is it's got low mileage. It's got the gal does not come with it. Sorry, but the
burr.
But it's got a custom brand new paint job. It's got new handlebars, and my buddies helped me out. It's got a 107 Milwaukee 8 in it with 14-inch apes, custom exhaust, and the stereo is upgraded as well. But that paint job, the picture doesn't do it any justice. It is just, you can see a reflection in it. It's beautiful, and that's done by
who donated the bike this year? Is this?
So you've been gone a bit, but we haven't got to where we get a bike donated yet. So
Oh, wow.
what we do is we buy the bike and then we pay ourselves off, if you will, or break even. So through sales of the tickets and the event itself, and then whatever we have left over. I mean, all events have overhead costs, but and for us, that's one of them. We pay for the bike as well as the other stuff that you remember from the run itself. So, but yeah, we as soon as June 9th, we start looking for another bike. So
That's
next year.
That's awesome. I know that a lot of bikes over the years have been. This one seems cool. I was it like 2019? It was a military style bike. That one was pretty neat.
That
Can we
brown
see
one?
the next? Huh?
That tan street
Yeah.
glide?
Yeah, that one was pretty neat. Can we see the next picture? Yeah, so these are some of the just obviously there's a couple of club members, and you guys. So there's other clubs that join the club and support the cause, right?
Oh yeah, you can see. I don't know if those are actual club members or just guys that have patches, but obviously veterans and dang proud of it. So
Yeah,
they come out and support.
yeah. Can we go to next? So here's some other guys, and obviously some of the wives.
Registration.
Yeah.
Registration, pure chaos.
And don't ask Doug about mustard or ketchup packets either.
That's right. That's right.
Doug is a club president. Who many years he used to carry the burn and everything doing with the show, which over the years, that responsibility has transitioned to, certain key folks who participate. You being one of the key focal points of that event, so which is pretty amazing. And and you guys have other folks from across others, patch members from our club, from the other sister. What do we call them?
Detachments.
Detachments. There you go. It's right in, right?
Yeah. So our club started here. Well, it actually started in Tustin, just up the road.
Right.
But for the last, I've been in for 15 years. So we've been around since I want to say 96. But anyway, it started up in Tustin and eventually it transitioned down here, and it's been in Marietta, Temecula area for the last 20 years probably. And we as people we've gotten quite a bit bigger over the years, as you can imagine. Active duty Marines, they're not here like me for the last 13 years of my Marine Corps career in Camp Pendleton. They go to other places, and then they can recruit great people, other club members wherever they go. So we've got detachments all over the country.
That's awesome. Can we see the next one, please? Yeah, and clearly this is another one of the. So this is are you guys doing anything special? Being that this is the 20th anniversary.
Well, yes and no. We have big dreams, but sometimes you can't get them all put together quite right. But this year we did come across, just random, very blessed. We do have a bike that was also donated, that we're not the one you saw, but a different one that we're going to actually auction off at the run itself. So hopefully that'll generate. And we've had that happen maybe 2 or 3 times. Sometimes we've even had people that win the drawing and give it right back to us and say auction it off. And that's just amazing. So. Yeah. But
I've been blessed to see some of those events as well.
Yeah, and like I said, that's happened a couple times, but nothing other than we will have one of the original 4 ladies that started the Semper Fi Fund will be at our poker run to just to me that's what's the term we use, the OG. She's one of them for that organization, and she'll be there to speak and thank everybody. So hopefully get people to pull their wallets out,
Yeah, no, that's it. And I know that in the past we've even had television stars. One of them, we had some of the guys from Sons of Anarchy on the show.
Right.
Yeah, we've had, it's known in that area as well.
Yeah, I remember that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can we see the other photo right here? I think this is everybody when everybody's sitting on the bleach. Okay, yeah, that's some of the bikes showing up at the show right there.
Yep.
Yeah, and can we see the other one? I think that's everybody right there. Thank God. I knew you were gonna send me one of these, but I was like, please don't let it be the one that was here.
Yeah. I had to look. I had to look hard.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah. Thanks so much for putting up those pictures over there. So Tom, now, so what is this year gonna the event gonna have? What kind of bands and all that stuff? Because it's been a couple of years since the last time I was to one. So what is there any changes, any upgrades? Who's playing this year?
Rock, is it on the flyer? Rockaholics, I believe. It's a local band, obviously. But again, just little baby steps in the way things are done have made it to where we're able to donate more money. Because I talked about the cost of the bike being a overhead cost.
Yes.
Well, you remember the days of loading tables and chairs in the truck and unloading it, and
and pandemonium.
Yeah. Well, as of I think last year was our first year, but I'm sure you don't know this, but somebody bought the what used to be called the Wild West Arena, which is where that picture we're still looking at takes place.
Yeah. That's the Winchester Wild West Arena. Yes.
So the location is the same, but it was sold and somebody bought it. I don't know if you were around, but there was a time the place burned down.
Yes, I do remember that.
Anyway, it was rebuilt after that, and then but the arena was still there, and we did our poker run, ended it there, just some nostalgia there. But anyway, last year somebody bought it, or the year before, and then it is paved.
Oh, wow.
The whole arena, all those cages, all that stuff is gone, and it's paved all the way out to the street. And then you remember there was a great big field next to it that was, a farmer used or whatever.
Yeah.
That field is now some sort of outdoor professional go-kart racing track.
That's awesome.
Anyway, and they've, the whole thing's all redone. So and in front of the stage is all got crushed rock and shade and, chairs and tables and all that stuff. So even just that little step, not only do we not have to physically do that, but more importantly, we don't have to pay the money for that overhead cost. So that then, again, a baby step forward to improve how much money we're able to donate. So it's a totally different place than it used to be. And we're really working hard to get cars out there too.
No, that's great. And, because I remember that, having to, stay with our RVs and stuff like that. And it was just, it could get pretty messy out there, out of the arena. So this should give you a little bit more parking room to expand and have a lot more attendance in the show and do your car shows and all that other stuff out there.
Absolutely.
So Tom, so tell us where is it? If a couple of questions. Where can people buy tickets? Is there still time for it? And do they have to be present in order to win the drawing?
So most importantly, you do not have to be present. All that we will need is a ticket stub with your name and phone number on it. And as you mentioned, I'm the club treasurer, and I facilitate ticket sales, honestly, across the country. My family in Minnesota, they buy tickets from me every year, and all they do is, in this modern age, we have PayPal, we have Zelle, We even have Venmo, although they charge us a fee. But I monitor all three of those systems, and all somebody needs to do is reach out to me via email. And I think you said you put it in the comments. Are you going to do that?
Yes, go ahead and just go ahead and tell me right
Yep.
now, and I'll put it on the chat, and hopefully they'll copy and paste it on the screen as well.
Okay, so it's BMCR dot treasurer, and that's TREASURER, I think, the number 1 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And
So
all they
go
would need to do is you can send me an email and say, I'd like to purchase some tickets to support the Semper Fi and America's Fund, and ideally win the motorcycle. But what we've a new thing we've kind of started doing to entice folks to buy tickets as well. If you buy $50 worth of tickets, you get 1 free ticket. So you'd get, for $50, you get 6 tickets, or for $100, you get 12.
That's awesome. What is your guys' the public Facebook page where people can go in there and maybe shoot you a message and whatever the case may be?
So that was on that first picture you pulled up, but I got to look at it here. So we do have a website, and you can figure things out in there pretty easily, and that is www.Brotherhood of Marine Corps with an S, Riders, that's plural as well, .com. And then I guess on Facebook, it's at the same thing, Brotherhood of Marine Corps with an S, Riders with an S. Again, that's Facebook. And then on Instagram, it's at BMCR_1775.
Okay.
Which is when my Marine Corps came alive.
Hoorah, get some. I think this is a good point to say goodbye. Tom, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for your service. We'll go ahead and hopefully get you some more traffic to this event. And next time we'll bring you in, we'll just shoot the shit about some other stuff. How about that?
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so very much. And Semper Fi.
Hoorah. I'll see you around, brother. Thank you. Hey, what an amazing organization. And I was lucky enough to be a part of them for quite some time. Life got in, I ended up going to the Middle East to work in addition to that. And now I'm here in Florida. Nonetheless, I still support my brothers and sisters out on the East Coast and all the other different mother chapters. So make sure that if you want to, I highly encourage that you support, because all this money goes at the end of the day to the Semper Fi Fund, and it's a great organization. I've been a recipient of their help and assistance, and I've recommended a bunch of other people to them. But the Brotherhood of Marine Corps Riders, I mean, they do a lot of good stuff for our community. So you can hit up Tom Hazmat Kircher at bmcr.treasurer, the number 1 at gmail.com. And then you can also check out the other websites, brotherhoodofmarinecorpsriders.com. And also on Facebook. And I will go ahead and put this in the show description. Make sure you click, subscribe, like, and follow. And you can keep up with their current events as well for other special events. So with that being said, folks, hey, if you're ruminating, you've been having a bad time, you have a shitty week, and or you just go in a dark hole and path that you just can't come back from, don't do anything that you won't be able to come back from, or do something stupid. Reach out to a friend, reach out to the VA, reach out to a buddy, and let's talk about it. Hell, reach out to the show. But at the end of the day, suicide is not the answer. So, because there's a lot of commendable challenges out there to raise awareness about suicide, veteran suicide, it's not going to bring you back. So, that's it for today, everybody. I think it's a great place to end. So, Aistamas, Daisuki, Ura, get some. See you next week, everybody. Yat!